Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an absolutely fantastic day. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Binance is once again back in the news. For those of you who missed the video yesterday, shame on you. No, I'm joking. The interesting part is that regardless of all the current news that we have going on about Binance within the United States of America, they continue to thrive is the word I would throw out there. In regards to their business operations around the world, as they are legal and not in trouble anywhere else in the world except for one place. Binance will publicly roll out a Thailand-based crypto exchange in early 2024 via a joint venture with local energy giant Gulf Energy Development. A number of years ago, we heard that there were a number of countries who apparently were not too keen on cryptocurrencies and or the inner workings of cryptocurrencies happening without them. So there were a couple of countries whose leaders and presidentes announced that they were also going to be making their own cryptocurrency exchanges. And I believe that Thailand was one of the more restrictive places as far as the movement of money and also the companies within crypto who were trying to mosey their way into their country. According to a stock exchange listing, filing on the exchange of Thailand by Gulf Energy, they said that the Gulf Binance venture will initially be an invitation-only type of exchange with a public rollout by early 2024. We've also seen that before. It's usually a bad idea to do an invitation-only rollout. The idea being is that they simply want to test out they say they want to test out their systems to see that they're working okay. But, wink, it usually ends up working out that they kind of only want very wealthy individuals to kind of use the exchange first to get used to it, to get, absorb what crypto they want, and then everyone else kind of is allowed to go after. The firm received approval from the Thai Securities and Exchange Commission on the 10th of November. A Binance spokesperson confirmed to Cointelegraph that the platform has initially launched as an invitation-only exchange and would give more details as information becomes available. On the 26th of May, Gulf Binance received digital asset operator licenses from Thailand's Ministry of Finance, which enabled it to operate a crypto exchange regulated by the country's SEC. At the time, Binance had planned to launch its Thai arm, that's a weird sentence, by Q4 of this year as well. Here's a translation of the document for whoever this might interest. Some people, I'm sure, like to read certain things like this. Yeah, Binance is quite heavily in the news as of late. It is going to come as a shock for many people I know to understand that Binance is probably still going to continue to thrive everywhere else around the world except for the US. But we also had news at the beginning of this year because of the initial lawsuit from the US SEC against Binance, that Binance already was not Binance in the US. They were Binance US because they had to make a separate entity. The SEC also had a problem with that, so they announced that they were going to be winding down their operations in general. And now that they are winding on down, they're still doing business in other places because that's how the rest of the world works. That's the Binance is opening up a Binance arm, a Thai arm, sometime this year, and then it is going to go completely for the public next year as well. That's the Binance news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in very important news, the price of Bitcoin has once again, I know, I can hear you already, has already hit another new all-time high in Turkey. hitting 1,076,000 Turkish lira as the country's inflation lingers in, it says, discouraging territories. That's a great sentence right there. We've had news, I think, since around the end of summer, a couple of times. It hasn't been like dozens, but it has been a couple of times where we have heard that Bitcoin has hit a brand new all-time high. I had it on here and I had it on the other channel, and I saw the comments, and I saw the thing is that people only, I mean, fair enough. People tend to only pay attention to their country, and they say, well, Bitcoin didn't hit a brand new all-time high in my currency. The point of the news is that Bitcoin hit a brand new all-time high in general. Don't know if you know, but other places on the planet exist. As I've mentioned before, a lot of people don't understand that the life that you currently live is mainly because of A, the US dollar, B, a stable euro, C, a stable yen, and D, because you are part of these kingdoms that have had economic success, while other places have not. And we've seen over the course of the last couple of years, a number of fiat currencies have begun to collapse, and in like a very dramatic way. The initial idea for Bitcoin, at least in the long ago, was not only a currency for everyone, but the idea was that, and has always been, that when fiat currencies begin to collapse, people would actually move to Bitcoin as a source of some type of stability. And you hear the word stability in Bitcoin, and I know someone chuckled. There's someone's wife or cousin or mother walking behind them. They heard Bitcoin and stability. They laughed. Please go into the other room if you're not watching the video. That was very mean of me. Anyway, the point is, in reality, the idea is that if you see that your local currency has dropped by 86% in value over the course of the last 2 years, and you see that Bitcoin has, and I say it this way, has only dropped by 25%, and you see these articles and you hear the news as to where Bitcoin could go, and then lo and behold, at the beginning of this year, you see a $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 Bitcoin. You look at the price today and you go, oh my, what, Bitcoin's at, what, how is Bitcoin over $35,000? I should have put my money into that. You look at the economic policies of the country that you're in and you go, it's not looking too hot and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. So you choose Bitcoin as an alternative. Of course, there are other ways that people are investing their money. But the interesting part is that in other parts of the world, where their money isn't too good, it's not looking like it's going to get any better. We've seen news over the course of the last few years in the cryptocurrency space that Bitcoin is continuously hitting, there we go, a brand new all-time high in many different countries because of these collapses. Now, if you go back to the old lore of crypto, back in the olden days, the 2013s, 14s, 15s, 16s, and 17s, the idea is that if this continues to happen, if fiat currencies continue to collapse, if people continue to lose faith in their local pieces of paper that have ink on them, and they see news that more people have gotten into Bitcoin, are making money off of Bitcoin, are getting rich off of Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space, they're going to start shifting to that place as well. It talks about the early 2020s, Coco Roro, yada yada, and a whole bunch of the other stuff that kind of like forced people to pay attention to a brand new way, as a lot of people were looking for ways to make money online because of the circumstances that we were all in. But yeah, once again, the last time we had this news, it was Turkey, Argentina, and there was a third country. I can't remember which one that it was, but Turkey keeps continuously popping up. If you have had any chances in the last few years to read about economic news from within Turkey, yeah, it's not. If you go there with foreign currencies, you're doing just swell. But if you are there with their local currency, it is not the place to be, basically. So yeah, Bitcoin has once again hit a brand new all-time high. This will continue to happen, especially for us. and also comparative to other countries around the world, because we sometimes usually forget exactly how lucky we are, that we may have bills and have things to pay, but then you also realize your US dollar, your euro, and your yen have not gone down by 86, 89, 140% over the course of the last 13 months. So that's the Bitcoin, once again, new all-time high news. Yeah. Let's move on. I get why it was popular, but it's also like, okay, Tether, the company behind Tether, has announced that they plan to invest $500 million, $500 million, over the next 6 months in building mining facilities and acquiring stakes in other mining cryptocurrency companies. This is according to Tether's CEO, Paolo Ardoino, in an interview. He said, "We are committed to being part of the Bitcoin mining ecosystem. When it comes to the expansions, building new substations and new sites, we are taking them extremely seriously," end quote. A number of years ago, we actually heard from the people from Tether that they were looking to expand. A lot of the idea is that the earlier portions of their operations were simply creating new Tether. Like the very, very early stages was getting funding, creating new Tether, and doing whatever people were doing with it behind the scenes. We also then had news, I want to say 2020, somewhere around there, that apparently the people from Tether were also beginning to buy up Bitcoin. And that's where I believe a lot of the friction began, with people, in my opinion, lying about Tether and saying what they were doing and what they might have been doing behind the scenes. We had a lot of speculation, in the early days, because people had nothing better to do with their time, that the people from Tether were simply creating more stable coins to buy up more Bitcoin, and that was the reason why Bitcoin was going up, and it was all this other stuff. So we knew that, and have known that cryptocurrency companies have been accumulating Bitcoin for a while. I can probably also say with a high degree of certainty, though I am uncertain, that Ripple, Cardano, and the Ethereum Foundation are probably doing the exact same thing. A lot of people in crypto tend to be very tribal and believe that the companies that they follow are also very tribal. That's not how this works. You kind of put your money everywhere on the board as a just in case. So while you might be the creator of ADA, you also have in the background, hey, there might be some other money to be made in this thing that's been the number one coin for the course of the last 14 years. So you also buy up a lot of it as well. But now it appears that Tether is getting even more seriouser, and they want to start mining Bitcoin as well. This is basically going to be what people believe to be a gold rush over the course of the next 117 years, as a lot of people think that this will basically be the new way of making money. So we know that Bitcoin exists. We know how governments make and print money right now, but it's believed in the future that the way that people basically create money will be democratized and decentralized, and you will be able to run a node, run a validator on something. It's also similar to the Lightning Network, that you are able to validate things on the Lightning Network and make Satoshis from it. You will be able to stake your Ether to make money passively. You can stake your ADA. You can do these other things to mine these coins. And that's why I've alluded to multiple times, the idea of making money in the future will be very different, as a lot of automation begins to happen more and more in front of our eyes. The way that the 1% and 0.01% on the planet will make their money is, the 1% already doesn't work. But it'll be even less than before, because all the money will kind of be completely automated, or will be made for you by machines. Very, very fascinating future that we're moving ourselves into. And I know that a lot of people, just mathematically, they won't be able to benefit from the system, but those who do have a very particular life coming in front of them that I think a lot of people don't even realize. When you think about like trying to get into like Amazon or Apple like in the 80s. Well, I mean, Apple for 80s and Amazon like in the 90s, same exact thing with Apple. You really couldn't have foreseen that Apple would be a $3 trillion company. Now, the money that people have made from these stocks, they live a completely different life than if they had not invested in these things early. And I think a lot of times when you see I keep seeing these articles and they just annoy me. Like, is it too late to buy Bitcoin? Should you buy Cardano right now? Is it too late? Is XRP going to $1? Is it too late to buy? And I'm like, stop writing these articles. Like, if you believe, not even believe in crypto, like it sounds like a whatever. But if you understand what this market is and all the good news we've been getting for a very long time, you know this market's going to be around. And yes, we are early. The idea that Bitcoin is going up to 100K and like, oh my gosh, are we still early? Yes, we're talking about this ecosystem that's going to be around for another 100 years. So of course we're early, and the people who get in now will benefit the most in the future. That's how time works. Tether is currently building Bitcoin mining sites in Uruguay, Paraguay, and in El Salvador. They said the goal is to control 1% of Bitcoin's total computing power needed to operate the network, but no time frame was provided. I assume a year or so. They're not gonna be like, we're gonna take 100 years to try and make money. I assume, whatever. The largest public Bitcoin mining company, Marathon Digital Holdings, currently makes up around 4%. That's a very nice number to see as well. We had a lot of issues in the not even long ago, a couple of years ago, where far too few companies were holding like 18% of the mining power, 11%, and they were friends with the people over there. So we had a whole 51% discussion. So even the largest mining company just having 4% is great. That means that leaves space for hopefully 50 to 100 other companies as well. It's also a very good idea that they're doing this in Latin America. Before, a large concentration was just in China and just within the US. No, in order for it to be decentralized, we need those two countries not to be able to pull the plug and then Bitcoin go bye-bye. Having it in 3 different, Uruguay, Paraguay, and El Salvador is great. Because should we have another country who loses their mind and they unplug, well, guess what? We still have other countries who still have it going as well. So I was a little bit shocked, as this was relatively popular news. We tend to get stupider news that ends up being very popular that day, but cool. I guess Tether, for some reason, did it for a lot of people, and they were very excited that Tether is going to be mining Bitcoin. I'm terrified of getting news over the course of the next couple of months and years. Like those monthly reports, like finding out exactly how much they mined. Like, I don't think people really are going to care unless it's something like magnificently, spectacularly amazing. But sure, cool. So Tether is still in Tether, but they're also going to be mining Bitcoin as well, because there's a lot of money to be made in it. And I'm pretty sure Tether probably has aspirations of becoming a 100 billion, if not an early $1 trillion company. The idea of a $1 trillion company just doesn't sound real. Have any of you ever watched the TV show? Oh gosh, what's it called? Westworld. I was thinking like robot people. Westworld. And there's an episode, I think in season 3 or something like that, where they're in the future, because they're robots, and they're talking about how much a company is valued, and one of them says like 4.7 trillion, and I was like, wow, that's definitely going to be a futuristic number. And then you're like, wait, no, Apple's like basically already there. So I can't, will we have a $100 trillion company at some point? I don't know. That's the Tether news. Why did I drifted off there? All right. Okay. Let's move on. Also in the news, the Voltaire era is apparently in the final stages in Cardano's development roadmap, marking a significant shift towards a self-sustaining system. With a new governance model, network participants are now empowered to use their stake and voting rights to shape the future developments of the Cardano network, a move that resonates deeply with the ethos of blockchain technology. The Voltaire upgrade introduces a treasury and voting system that allows Cardano users to participate directly in governance and decision-making processes. Every single chain should have this. This level of community engagement is designed to allow impactful decisions regarding software updates, technical improvements, and funding decisions through the Cardano Improvement Proposals, CIPs, and Funding Proposals, FPs. Is this a thing? Has it happened? I guess maybe not. It says in the final stage, so it has not taken place. We're getting a lot of Cardano news again, where it's reminiscent. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. A lot of the Cardano news is quite reminiscent of the 2017s, 18, 19s, where it's a lot of it's gonna happen, we're gonna get it, you're gonna see it, it's gonna happen, just wait to have it kind of thing. We barely have a lot of actual Cardano news anymore. The vast majority of what we have gotten has been Charles Hoskinson screaming at a cat, Charles Hoskinson talking or screaming to someone on Twitter because they didn't bake his bread enough, or like updates from the Cardano team that there's going to be an actual update or upgrade. I assume, as I have many times before, I think a lot of different chains are probably waiting for the more concrete bull run. That is to say, if you introduce good news into a market that is falling or down, the good news simply gets absorbed by the market regardless. Like the prices don't end up moving. So I can only assume that a lot of the more illustrious Cardano news will not begin to unfold until early 2024, early 2025. It is wonderful to hear that they have new things going on, but it's more of a, I think as a market, we have kind of rolled away from the idea of simply releasing that XYZ is going to happen, as opposed to simply being like, it's happening. This is what I think Ethereum also had to move away from. You realize before, if you remember, you were here years ago, a lot of the Ethereum news was like January 1st, 14th of February, 22nd of March, it's going to happen. You guys wait to the beginning of June. And then we got to June and they were like August. We got to August. They were like 1st of October is going to be wild. And we went through a year basically stumbling and tumbling, waiting for Ethereum upgrades that happened at the end of November, and it was just one simple thing that took place. So this is why I think we also don't really hear a lot about Ethereum anymore. Rather, as far as when updates and upgrades are going to happen, as opposed to, all right, it's imminent, it's happening in a week kind of thing. But Cardano's still kind of sprinkling along the way that things are going to happen. So I remember the word Voltaire from years ago. I hope it ends up happening. I hope the network opens up more. I hope, it's more decentralized and things like that. We also have not had a lot of Cardano partnership news. I mentioned that before as well. For those of you still wondering, yes, I still hold ADA and I still have all of my ADA. If they don't shape up, this is my opinion, we probably only have around 2 more cycles with Cardano. That is to say, by the time we get to 2028, if they don't have, dozens or hundreds of really major partnerships, they're probably going to fall back into the background. They'll become like a Litecoin kind of thing. They'll become a legacy coin. They'll have been around for a while, but nothing really more, like no more crazy price movements. But the optimism is still there. This is why we hear and are hearing $10, $15 ADAs. And we had news recently of someone said a $35 ADA, and it's like, okay, sure, not out of the realm of possibility, but your coin also has to have a really strong backing and partnerships for that actually to become a thing. That's the way that this article is written, and that is that the Voltaire era is in the final stage, and therefore if it's on a stage, it has not completely happened. So therefore this is going to be an upgrade that's going to be taking place relatively soon in the future. News. Okay. That's the Cardano news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news is Bitcoin payment app Strike has made an announcement that they will start offering users the ability to buy Bitcoin using their bank cards. How were they doing it before? Strike has been around for a while. I'm pretty sure you've been able to. How were people? I guess. Okay. Bank transfers. Okay, I got it. It also stated that it will be charging a fee of 3.9%. Okay, that's okay. The Send Globally channel allows customers to convert their Tether or Bitcoin into local currencies. Strike has also partnered with BitRefill to enable purchases via the Lightning Network. Lightning Network is constantly popping up in the news. It's still not as big as I assumed that it was going to be. Meant to be kind of the end all for Bitcoin, the scaling solution that we were all going to have, all waiting for, the thing that was going to make Bitcoin being used in daily. Is Strike the company who also operates in El Salvador? Like I'm pretty sure it's Strike, because there's so many companies named the same things. There's Strike, there's Stripe, there's so many other words where they choose these things. I'm pretty sure that they're the company that actually works in El Salvador that people use using the Lightning Network to be able to send a payment so that things are instantaneous and, more or less free with a 1 or 2 Satoshi payment fee. I don't know what the other crypto exchanges are charging as far as like 3.9%, but I would look that up before you go moseying on to a brand new other platform, because I feel like 3.9% is a lot. Like I would not really. I would understand 0.5% or 1%. 3.9%, because you're also getting charged a fee from your bank card as you're using it as well. So in a statement made by Strike, it emphasized that it sees Bitcoin as a transformative force as part of its better money mission. In this context, the company highlighted its expansion towards different markets to fulfill its commitment to a financially inclusive world. Yeah, but a lot of people who also say stuff like that are the people who got Bitcoin early. Like if you got Bitcoin when it was 1 cent and you own like 47,000, of course you're going to see Bitcoin as a transformative force. I don't know. A lot of times, a lot of companies keep saying stuff like that. Like, I wonder if they would have the same ethos if like they had like half a Bitcoin kind of thing. So cool. It says get paid in Bitcoin. I guess it says your direct deposit has landed, and it shows you've been paid in 1,000, and then it converts it to Bitcoin. So I guess maybe it's a way that you can get your paycheck sent to them, and then they convert it into Bitcoin so that you can just use it by tapping your phone with Lightning. I'm connecting dots. I assume that's what it is. So cool. This was relatively popular. We've had Strike news before. So amazing. Fantastic. Wonderful. You can now buy it with bank cards. That seems to be like one of the themes of this year. We had news that you can now. I would definitely say you don't have to do this if you don't want to. But we had news earlier this year that I believe Visa and MasterCard are allowing people to, buy crypto from somewhere. What was it? It was Visa doing something. We also had MetaMask, who was allowing people to use their bank card to be able to buy crypto. It was PayPal allowing you to link your MetaMask. I don't remember, but they're all trying to link together to have like paper trails of the things that you're buying and all your money things. So this is kind of the theme of what's happening right now. So cool. Strike, you can now use your debit or credit card, I assume, and you can get paid in Bitcoin. Fantasticals. All right. It says Strike's bold move. Who writes these articles? You think this is bold of them? They own Bitcoin. They want Bitcoin to succeed. Of course, it's not bold. Bold would be like, we have no fees. We will give you Bitcoin for signing up. Like, that's bold. That's a, okay, I'll stop. All right, that's strike. Okay. Let's move on. Also in the news, and I guess like extra part of it, Ripple has announced the list of awardees of XRP Ledger Grants Wave 6, which features top innovative projects across several Web3 sectors. The awardees were chosen after Wave 6 made a call for applications and received over 129 applications from all over the world. Ripple, the Ethereum Foundation, the Cardano Foundation, it used to be the EOS Foundation, and there were a couple of other ones. They have these like grants, basically like large pools of money, where they basically said, if you are a company who's looking to build on top of our blockchain, we will give you money to be able to do so. Because a huge problem years ago for actual people looking to build within the crypto sector was funding. Surprise, money. So a lot of these companies, and Ethereum was actually one of the first ones to do so. They actually didn't have a lot of money in the very beginning. And this was years ago, they announced that they were going to have to shut down the entire Ethereum project unless they got proper funding. And then they ended up getting it. But then the issue was that people who began to build on top of Ethereum were basically doing it out of like free will. They were like, cool, let's build something on top of this. We need 50K. And then nobody was giving them any money. So these companies now basically have like pools of tons of money where they have people who apply and they say, hey, we want to build this on top of your chain to do X, Y, and Z because we believe it can give it value. We believe it's so and so. And then they basically sprinkle money onto these developers over the course of like a 1-year period. Okay, you get 50K over the course of 12 months to be able to do this. And this is now Wave 6 for Ripple. It says, after a thorough review process, Ripple developers decided to invest $1.3 million to support a total of 22 projects leveraging the XRP ledger. These projects from 13 countries are some of the groundbreaking initiatives. The operations of these projects cut across several sectors, including DeFi, AI, developer tooling, education and sustainability, GameFi, and NFTs. Hence the review and judging process, yada, 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 yada. So cool. These things have been funded before, not to say like this, this one specific thing, but it's more of these funding rounds have happened quite often across a multitude of different cryptocurrency projects. It's just a matter of A, who gets the funding, B, if the funding is enough, C, if the thing ends up being actually built, D, if it ends up being built and actually ends up working, A, B, C, D, E, if it works and goes to market, F, if people actually end up wanting to use it, G, if people want to use it and actually ends up making money. So it's a very long thing. It's kind of like not throwing darts at a wall, but you need to be able to actually do your project properly to be able to actually make money. One of the problems over the course of the last couple of years is that a lot of companies have made cryptocurrency like video games or DeFi things, and a lot of the DeFi use cases have completely stumbled, crumbled, and fallen apart because, and years ago, the idea of the app that was going to bring cryptocurrencies into the forefront, the utopia, was video games. I'm not sure if you've seen a lot of the blockchain-based video games, but they are different. They are not what you would expect. I'm really shocked. No. We're gonna have this conversation. I was just chatting with someone about this because years ago, I believe the first company who did it. Oh gosh, what were they called? They made some kind of an Ethereum video game where it looked like a bootleg Super Mario kind of thing, where like you think of like the original game, like you run across, you hop on little monsters. But the problem is that every time you do something on a blockchain, you pay a transaction fee. So you actually had to load it up, I believe, with Ether. And every time you did something, you were literally paying Ether to play the game. And it was like, well, this doesn't benefit me at all. And I'm really shocked that no one has made a video game on a free blockchain or a blockchain that has no transaction fees, or that you simply aren't able to, at this point, like build something on top of it. Like, let's say like specifically you build a game on top of the XRP blockchain, and there's something that you can encode inside of it that says this is a game. This is not a payment rail. We need, transaction fees completely turned off. And for that video game, you have no transaction fees. Within that game, you can buy things that would help you out in the game, and you can use XRP to be able to do it. But as far as you jumping up and down, hitting a box, running around, there's no transaction fee. A lot of the games that I've seen within the blockchain crypto space, I don't get it. You know how like really simple games can sometimes be like the things that kind of take off? Like if you think about Angry Birds, like the idea of like dragging a bird back and throwing it at like boxes took off. And I'm shocked that no one, and I don't want to use the word copy, but I'm shocked that no one has used a premise as simple as that one. No one has made like a proper tower defense game. No one has made like a Flappy Bird, like something that would actually be able to go onto an app store for free and that you could get people to use easily. A lot of the games have been so difficult, and you have to buy this and you have to link to this chain and this has to happen and you have to be sure that you're on this blockchain before you can do that. And when you buy this, you have to wait for the transaction to go through, and it's like, okay, maybe I'm sure we'll get there at some point, probably on, I don't know, whatever. I'm just really shocked that no one has gotten it yet. That like there hasn't been a game that's really kind of taken off. I don't know. Anyway, that's the I guess on that note, that's the XRP Ledger Wave 6 of grant awardees news. Hopefully something comes from it, because a lot of the other stuff on other chains, you gotta wish and hope that something actually becomes of it. Yeah, I think that's gonna actually do it for this video. I do sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed. I know that the cryptocurrency market is always a bit intense. Don't forget to take time out for yourself every now and again. A lot of people forget that. We are seeing great numbers in the market, but also understand that we have about 2 years of this left to go. So it's okay every now and again to like take a break, take a breather. I say it all the time, go for a walk, have some tea, go, try and enjoy something. Because I notice that people tend to get a lot more intense the higher prices go. If the prices go high or low, the intensity begins. But don't forget to take time out, because the market will still be there. I had a friend before who used to check the market. I mean, it was every hour, every half an hour. You'd be sitting at lunch with him. He's just looking at his phone. The market will be there tomorrow, I promise. You think you're going to miss out, but you're not. If you've been accumulating, if you've been buying, if you've been holding, you're good. The market is not going to hit a brand new all-time high tomorrow. Like, think about that. Bitcoin's not going to $95,000 tomorrow. XRP is not going to $14 tomorrow. So don't forget every now and again to take a little bit of a breather, because the market will still be there. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.